All right, you got all your paints? Oh, so you got the wipes, the baby wipes?
I got the wipes, and I'm going to just wipe my hands off because I've got paint all over them. And I hate to start that way, you know.
Well, yeah, I don't want to do that. All right. Okay, let's get quiet. Everybody quiet on set. Here
Are we
go.
quiet? Okay.
Quiet.
Sammy's making
Live
noise.
from Houston, Texas, it's the Ginger Crumb Monday Night Show with your co-host, Sammy, and his gecko friends. Sammy, buddy, you're looking good. Ginger, I see you're wiping up already.
Well, I just put out paint, and I thought I'd like to start the show with it. Look, I actually have.
Before you even get on the show, you have paint all over yourself.
That's right, but I don't think I have any on my face. So, you know, listen, what do you want here?
Let me look. Look this way. No. Clear
I'm
so
good.
far.
Clear so far. All right. Well,
We're off to a good start.
We're off to a good start. We think so. All right. Well, listen, you guys. Welcome to our live show. This is always fun. Just to introduce you to John Little, the voice you heard, the radio announcer voice. He's our executive producer of the show. He's running the 4 cameras. He's typing in answers. Sometimes he's asking me questions that you have typed in. Please use bold print if you like a question asked. Type it in all caps. I know that that's not good manners, I guess, for some people on the internet, but you know, we want to be able to see it. So just you got to shout it out. Well, we get a couple hundred people in here, and nobody sees your questions, so we want to answer them if we can. So feel free to do that. This is a live show. We're going to be painting something today, and I would recommend you just kind of follow along. We're going to leave this up so then you can catch this on the replay to paint it. And you know, we're just always appreciative of the fact that you guys are here. And this is going to be fun. What we're building today on is, in the last couple of weeks, say over the last 3 weeks, we've done a series on YouTube of paintings with flowers. And they complement paintings we have on our Academy website. And so if you just kind of skip down, John, down here to my table.
On down. Let me skip
down to my table here, okay? You'll see this neat little flower shop with it's at night with all these little lanterns glowing and the little signs. And I want you to be thinking about that. I wrote on here, if John will be so kind as to zoom in.
I knew you were going to ask that. Look at that.
Look at that. I wrote flowers, and then I just sort of used a pen and kind of scribbled some stuff. And then I wrote over here herbs and stuff. But I had thought, if you were to do this as a Valentine's Day painting, assuming you could just whip this out between now and tomorrow, just saying, right, that you could maybe write a little poem here. Between both of those little chalkboards, you know, some sort of, what did we come up with? Roses are red, violets are blue.
And
something about you living in a zoo, but then we thought maybe not for Valentine's Day. What,
be more appropriate.
So we're not poets, we're artists here, you know, so there you go. So, but yeah, I know you can come up with something better than that. So that was sort of the thought that we would do. Now I want to show you the genesis of this, okay? So let's just take a second and look at what we're talking about here. If you guys remember, recently we did a painting in the rain with an umbrella and some flower pots. So you already know how to do an umbrella. This is just a little more complicated than this one, but not that much, okay, because we're building on this lesson, all right? And then for my birthday, we did some flowers, right, in a cake. There was that one, okay? And then we did...
which I might say was delicious.
We did, before we did this one, all right? See all the little flower pots. So that lesson kind of showed you how to do that, okay? So now you imagine we've got some stuff going here, okay? And then you know, I think it was last week we pulled out the park bench and we got a close-up of some flowers and a bench. So now we're on a roll here with the flowers, okay?
We know you guys are tired of the snow.
So yeah, we know you're tired of the snow. We threw in a couple snow paintings there for those of us who still think it's kind of fun, you know, because we're not living in it, right? We're in air conditioning in Houston. All right. So then this was my birthday surprise gift to you guys. Those of you who have not gone to our website, gingercooklive.gallery, and gotten this painting, it is a free lesson. And you'll see, you just click on it and it'll say, and it's a free download. You can add that to your library, just keep it forever. That is a free painting and it will be free till the end of February, which has 28 days in it, okay? And then after that, there'll be a charge on it. So I just want you guys to know that we've had over, almost 2,000 people get this picture for free. We invite you to do it too, all right? So if you haven't done that yet. And then on our website, we have, you know, paintings like this. This is called Garden Party with the chairs. Yep. And somebody wrote in today and said that at the very last part of the video, it just kind of stops. sometimes, technology gets the better of us, but I will say this, that's all I was doing was adding a few more highlights to the chairs. And the nice thing about anything I ever do on my videos is I always do the entry last. The entry of the video last.
The introduction.
The introduction. Yeah, the introduction. I do the introduction last. So the reason you want to know that is so if I've made any changes, I tell you. So you can kind of flip back and forth between the introduction and where it left off and to see if there's anything else you want to add. But chances are there won't be, all right? And then in addition to that, let me just reach over here and grab a few more things. On our website, we also have another painting. This is, remember, we did some bricks recently and some stucco. This is a flower cart, and again, it has flowers in it. Do you see a theme here? Go on, you guys see a theme here? Kind of see a theme? Yeah, you see it, right? And this is just a fraction of the flower art we have. I mean, we have Van Goghs and Renoirs and Monets and all that stuff, but we also have a whole thing. And this was a garden steps, and again, this is a based on the theme. So it's a little bit more complicated because of the perspective, but there's a whole YouTube lesson just on the perspective on these steps, okay? So anyway, this is sort of the fun thing, and if you're a member of GingerCookLive.gallery, you also have the advantage of getting our personal art coaching. So if you need a little help, you can say, what should I do now? And I'll probably tell you.
And for those new people, we'll have a sample of that a little later in the show.
Yeah, we're going to tell you a little bit about that and what some of the people send in. And sometimes people just want to share their artwork, okay? So I'm on an 8x10 canvas, all right? John has, did you sand this for me yet?
No, because you've been talking about it, so I debated about it. Sam and I said, no, we're not going to do it because she wants to talk about it again.
Well, somebody asked the other day on a comment on YouTube, they said, do you have to re-gesso when you sand? You're using a very light sandpaper, and you're just knocking off the high points on the gesso. Remember that gesso is just sprayed there with a machine, and you're just knocking that off. All right? You're not, gessoing it down to the fabric. And actually, remember, canvas is cotton duck. That's a fabric, all right? And it's gesso is this white sort of stuff that they put all over. And I say stuff because it used to be ground marble dust and some polymers and things, but everybody's got a different recipe. It is not white paint, okay? It is gesso, and so it's designed a little bit to help absorb your paint. That's the idea behind it. Some canvases have better gesso than others. Okay, just saying that.
And the reason for sanding is to save the brush, right?
And you're saving your brush. It makes it smoother. So when you start investing in a pretty nice brush, you just imagine, when you rubbed your fingers on an emery board, what happens to them? They get shorter. Well, just imagine what happens when you rub your brush on an emery board, kind of a rough canvas. You start wearing out the bristles, and it's just your brushes are going to wear out anyway. Eventually, there's no sense in fast forwarding their demise. How's that? Okay, let's not do that. So we're going to start out today with some colors. Titanium white. This is everybody says what colors? These are the same colors we use all the time.
Write this down, people.
Right. These are always the colors, okay? There may be more or less of them, but these are the colors. Titanium white, mixing white, phthalo blue, ultramarine blue. And those are phthalo blue green shade if you're buying Liquitex, and ultramarine red shade if you're buying Liquitex. Everybody else just goes phthalo blue and ultramarine blue, but Liquitex gets a little tricky with their stuff. And then burnt umber, cad red medium, burnt sienna, dazzling purple, naphtha crimson, which is the red on your color wheel. All right, that's your primary red. Remember, you can't make a primary color. Red, yellow, and blue are primaries. We have yellow oxide, magenta, and cad yellow medium, which is your other yellow. See, color wheel, see there? Can't miss it. All right, and the cad red medium is a kind of an orange red, all right, which is the red I use most all the time. Now what I'm going to do...
Right before you start.
Yeah.
Do you sand your 6x8 pads as well?
No, I don't sand those little canvas pads. They're very smooth.
They're very
those
smooth.
Those little canvas pads are really smooth.
They're mainly sketches anyway.
Yeah, they're sketches, but they don't need to be sanded. These little things here, this is what they're talking about. These are really smooth, so I don't sand those. These are really smooth, and they're very, very, very smooth how they do them. And I don't know that I need to sand linen. Linen is such a smooth canvas, you may not need to sand it. You can feel it. It just has to feel smooth. If it feels a little rough and raspy,
just give it a quick sand.
Then just give it a quick sand. That's all you have to do. Very lightweight sandpaper. Like I can go around here and I can see that I just maybe missed that or missed this. And, it's just easy enough to do. It's just so simple. And a little sandpaper block, too, isn't a bad thing to have. I don't have one, but Note to self, buy a sandpaper block. Such a good idea. All right, now if you look at this painting, what we're going to do, okay, is we're going to paint the whole thing a dark brown, and we're going to use our big brush. And this happens to be, but you can, whatever size you got, bright brush number 12, because I don't want to dink around covering the canvas, all right? Let's get a big enough brush to cover it. So I'm going to take some burnt umber and a little ultramarine blue. I'm going to come down here like this. And I didn't wet the canvas this time because I want it to dry fairly quickly. And I'm going to grab a little bit of Cad Red Medium and add to that. And just now, when I make a couple of brush strokes and nothing happens, I'm getting more paint, pushing fairly hard. I'm pushing that paint into the canvas because this is going to be, I'm not going to do 2 coats of this. If this was a very, very large canvas, I might miss the canvas and then do, I don't know, a little bit of, kind of a thin coat, dry it, and do a second coat. But we're just going to do one. Got a little bit of water on the brush. These ruby satin silver brushes, what we love about those is that they really carry the paint. I mean, they carry a lot of paint, and it's fast and easy. Do you see that? It is fast and easy to do this. And I'm using ultramarine blue and burnt umber, and it's a very dark color. And I'm going to go across the bottom, but change direction of the brush about, about 3 fingers up. And then I'm going to take a little Cad Red Medium, and I'm just going to add some little bright red highlights in here. Just barely touch it, and kind of blend that in. I want it, just kind of like that, just something like that to indicate maybe there's a little glow going on in the background. There we go. Like that. And that's it, boy. That is just all there is to it. Now, John just got me another roll of paper towels, and I'm going to show you how much paint is left on the brush. Before I do that, let me just make sure I've got all the sides. Not the sides, but at least I've got the canvas covered, all right? I can kind of see that I don't here. Like that. Let me move you out of the way. Ha ha. All right. Good. So, we have had an exciting week this week. Hasn't it been sort of exciting?
Oh, it has indeed.
Why was it exciting? I forget. One should say that. We've had an exciting week. Did we have an exciting week? I'm just having a senior moment. I can't remember yesterday, right?
It just seems like it was just your birthday. It's already the 12th. I mean, 13th. It's been 12 days.
I know. Well, I just keep celebrating it. I know that's true. Just keep celebrating. As long as there's an Amazon account, I can keep celebrating my birthday, you guys.
Oh, somebody asked about Sammy's geckos. Ginger was so kind and found those on Amazon. And
aren't those cute? Sammy has his new geckos to play with, and they're plastic, and he's all happy. They're not the real dead ones.
Hey.
So much better. Though I found a picture for you on Paint My Photo, and I forgot to print it out. It was some woman kissing a gecko.
Okay, that's going to be an upcoming lesson.
No, it isn't.
Oh,
but
we can have her with the tractor in the barn and have her in the foreground.
Wow, he just keeps going on, doesn't he? All right, so now here's what happens with this brush. I just want you to see how much paint is left in this brush. Do you see this? Can you see this? Am I showing you this? Maybe not. Here, look at here. I'm just trying to think where the brush went. Where's the brush? This is like a magic trick. Where's the brush? I could go into a whole new line of work here. Magician. Just hide it from the camera. Okay, so now I'm going to put that in the water.
Nothing up my sleeve.
And now what I want to do is I'm going to dry this, and I'm going to dry that really well because what we're going to do is take chalk and draw this all out. It's really simple, so don't panic when I sit there and say the word draw it out. Remember, you all learned to draw when you learned handwriting. You just forgot you know how, okay? So is there any fast little hoppy questions before I start this drying stuff?
One comment. Tractor.
That must be Sue Clark.
Yes, Tractor Farm. No,
I know, that's Sue, is it?
That one's Tractor Farm and Chicken. That's Sue.
Oh, that's Tractor Farm and Chicken. That's Sue. Okay, all right. So
go ahead and dry.
We're going to dry, you guys. You ready for this? Here we go. I'm just going to move this kind of out of the way. We're going to dry, right?
Yep. All right, we silenced her down. Let's show you a little bit of artwork that was come in this week. I have one from Nicole, and this is Wildfire, which is our famous horse, which I think is done excellent. To me, this one looks a little bit more female, which is fine. And we have another one, Geraniums. That was from Nina. Nice job. Ginger's eyes are doing good. Turn up me. Really? How's that? I just turned it up a little bit. We'll see if that catches up. Let me know. And we got one more. I'm going to show you we have apple from Jade. And Ginger's back.
Oh, isn't that apple gorgeous? That's how Jade did that. Jade's balancing college and painting with us, and she signs up for the weekly lessons. You know, the ones at $9.95 for a week, and then she does it, and then comes back and gets another one because she doesn't have a month she can schedule in because she's has finals and everything, and so she's in college. But that apple is stunning, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just beautiful.
I got to come back to you. Wait a second.
Oh, do you have my other picture, the one I just finished? Well, I haven't finished it yet of the tangerines.
Nope.
Okay. But would you know where that would be?
Yep.
Okay, well, we'll show that. I wanted to mention it because if you haven't been watching, we started a new show, and I'll tell you about that. But let's get our rulers out and just let's not fool around here. Let's just draw this in.
Wait, back to your drying for a second. Does Ginger dry on high heat?
Yeah, Ginger dries on high heat.
But then she does what?
And then I hit the cold button.
And the sandpaper, we use 220 or finer is better.
Yeah, finer sandpaper is better.
Yeah, 220 is good.
Yeah.
220 or higher.
You want kind of a lightweight
sandpaper. Up a bit, move her canvas up a bit so we can see the bottom. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So here's our picture, right? And I've got a piece of chalk and I've dried this, right? So what we're going to do is come over about isn't that just perfect? Like 4 inches. All right. From the top here, and I'm going to put a little dot. Okay. And I'm going to come down about a half an inch. I think there's the top of my umbrella. And then I want to come down about, what is that? About, what is that? Let me put my glasses on. Did I have glasses? I do. Aha, perfect. What is this? Oh yeah, about 2 1/4 inches. That's what that is. I'm going to come down here about 2 1/4 inches. I'm going to put a little dot, and I'm going to come in about a finger's worth. There you go. Okay. So now I'm just going to put a little line down like that. Okay, and then let's figure out where this is. We're going to come down about 2 inches on this side. Little dot. And how far in are we going to come? We're going to come in about 2 1/4 inches. Okay. 2 1/4 inches. Okay, put a little dot. All right, so that's basically where the outside of this umbrella is going to these 2 dots. And then what it does is it just sort of comes in like this, and then it kind of comes up like this. There's another little line coming here, and then kind of curves out this way like that, and then there's something underneath that kind of does that. Okay, everybody's good with that? So let's see, we want to make sure that we've sloped this down. Might make this a little bit lower. There we go. All right, so this is our umbrella. This is the top skirt. Okay, and then if you imagined a pole coming down here like that. Okay, and then over here, this is really simple. Over here we're going to have a let me just come up here to figure out how high we're starting this thing. This could be 3 1/2 inches tall up from the corner here. About 3 1/2. That looks like about like that. And in about 1/8 of an inch. Now look, we're going to just slope down here. This is important. We're just making a little rectangle, kind of sloping it down here and making a little sign, okay? And then it's got a little backdrop. See, that's easy, right? I mean, this isn't tricky. Let me make sure I have it high enough. Let's see, how high was this? This was tall. This was 3 inches tall. Do I have it tall enough? Not quite. I can come up a little bit taller. Well, I'm going to come up a little bit taller because it's going to have a little bit of a frame around it. It's about 3 inches tall, right, with the little feet coming out. And then over here on this side, we've got this whole thing is about 2 1/2 inches tall. So it's about like this, kind of facing us this way. Like that. And there's this one. Is that about 2 1/2 inches tall? How wide is it? Let's check that out too. It is 1 3/4 inches without the frame. Okay, so then it's got a little frame around it. Okay, so all right, so here we go. So there's this one. Okay, everybody's good with that. All right, now that's really simple, yeah.
What kind of chalk is that you're using?
These are just new pastels, but any old white piece of chalk would work, right? And then right next to this one, we're going to make a little box like this, a little rectangle. Then bring it back here like that and give it some feet. Then come up, then do a toot for flowers, and then come up again. Make another little box like that, and see how wide do we want this box. We want it about 1 inch wide. That's what I thought. Just, close enough, right? It's your box. If it's not quite the same as my box, who would know, right? Okay, so we got a box there that's going back that way. And some flowers. And then above that, we've got a little flower pot. Now, what I want to do is just start putting in these flowers. This is so simple. We're going to just start throwing in flowers and flower pots, okay? Now that we've sort of got that. And then, like, right behind here, we've got a flower pot, okay? And then down below that, we've got one. Okay, here's a flower pot. We've got a little flower pot right next to here, next to this one. And then somewhere in this space, we've got a flower pot. And then we got more front. So we got these front ones, and really, that's all there is to it. Does that make sense? And let's see, I want to make sure I'm up far enough above the, need to be about 1 inch higher here. So let's just bring our, this is why we love chalk. You could just erase it. And we want to be about 1 inch above here, and then this little pot's right about here. Okay, good enough. All right, so now that's all the drawing we're going to do. Now we need some sort of brush. Let's do that. Let's just start with the umbrella. That should be easy. Yes? Oh, should we put in our lantern as long as we're here? Okay, remember how to do the lantern? We make a little tiny rectangle. Then you put a triangle on top, a little triangle on the bottom, and then make a little T like that. One lantern, and we've got a little tiny lantern back here. Same thing. Little lantern back there, okay? Kind of comes down into this umbrella somehow like this. There we go. Little lantern back there. Okay, so now I'm going to pour a little tiny bit of water into that. I have a large water bucket like this, just to show you. Got a large water bucket like this off camera. And then I have a little tiny water thing just to dip my brush in if I want a little tiny bit of water. Here we go, like that. And it's a little heart-shaped ceramic bowl, and somebody asked where I got it. And I told everybody that we got it at the Renaissance Fair this spring in Houston, or this fall in Houston. All right, so let's take a little ultramarine blue and white. And let's just come on here very simply and put in our umbrella. Okay, I mean, just, you may, if you need to leave a little line for your umbrella, that's fine. And then let's just come this way. I'm using a little, what number is this? This is a, what is this? I hate it when the ½ inch, yeah, that's what I thought that said. ½ inch angle brush, yeah, ½ inch angle brush. Ruby satin silver. And if you guys are wondering where to get these brushes, you think, I buy them too. So I'm just, I want you to know, nobody's giving me these things. I buy these too, but I like them, and I would continue to buy them, and this is what I use, and it just makes painting so much easier. All right, I want to take a little tiny bit of phthalo blue and add to that last little mixture of white and ultramarine blue. I'm going to warm this side up a bit and add a bit more white to it. Come in here like this, a little bit of titanium now, okay? And, all right, now see what's happening, because I've got a little bit of light that's going to be on this umbrella from the lantern, okay? Then I'm going to come up this way with a little bit of white, kind of just lift your brush up, okay? You're wet on wet painting now, a little bit of wet here, right on the edge of this, and then just pull and lift, okay? Pretty easy, yeah? Pull and lift. And if you get down too far, don't worry about it. We're going to take a little purple and blue, come underneath here, like this. More purple. Where'd the purple go? Oh, that's where it's way over here. All right, a little bit of purple underneath here like this. In blue, and there's the bottom part of our umbrella. And I want a little dark purple line like that. In here like this, okay? And then around the top of this, I'm going to do a little dark purple line like this, a little tiny, like a cap on the umbrella, you know, have you ever seen that? They do little caps. Pinch the brush, come up here, add a little titanium white, and lighten up the top of this. Just 1, 2, 3, and it's done. Okay, any questions, John, as I'm happily doing this?
I'm afraid there are none.
It's all right. It's okay. It's they're not. You know, sometimes when you're doing stuff like this, you're just really thinking about what you're doing. John and I were talking about that the other day. It's a real trick to be. It's like chewing gum and what?
Walking.
Walking. There you go. Well, I don't try to do that because I just bite my tongue. You know what I mean? I just gave up gum a long time ago. It just never worked out for me. But yeah, but sometimes it can be a little tricky like that. And sometimes you'll just hear the silence, or I'll start a conversation with you, and then you just never hear the rest of the answer. And that's because my mind has gone on to the next thing we have to do, which is okay too. Okay, so now I want a little tiny bit of phthalo and a little tiny bit of yellow. Make a little green color and a little bit of white. And I want to warm this umbrella up just a hair up here like that. Maybe come over here like that. Just warm this up just a hair. And you don't have to. Maybe you like it just the way it is and you don't have to change anything. But you can see how you can. It's easy enough to do. Just kind of add a little more color to your umbrella. Now, we want we want the chalkboards. So now the trick is we're changing colors now. So we're going to rinse our brush, pinch it off, get some cad red medium and ultramarine blue. Mostly ultramarine blue with a little cad red medium. And some white, and we're going to make this gray color, okay, like that. Want a little bit darker than that, so a little bit more ultramarine blue, okay. And this is our chalkboard color. And we're just going to come in here like this and paint this in. Like we're just sitting here doing nothing anyway, right? So we just have these colors out, and let's do this side. We're painting in the chalkboard, and we might want to make it a little bit darker over here. Here we go, a little bit darker here, right over the blue here. Okay, so there we go. This is our chalkboard. And you know, I really love the idea of writing a personal note to somebody, making this into kind of a gift painting and making a personal note. I think that could be nice, all right?
Hey, was this from a trip to France type of experience, this painting?
Where did this painting come from? No, I actually was Googling flower shops, and I saw about 5 different flower shops and put this together from those pictures.
And basically the ones we've been building on.
So this is just,
week.
and then wanted to build it on what we already had. So this is a ginger original. Let me come up this way and down here like that. Okay. So yeah, no, this is where this came from. So now, all right. So I'm going to take some more white and add to that, and I'll just fill in this pot here. I thought these pots would be nice if they were more of a gray blue color. I think they could have a teeny bit of purple in them too. Let's just do that too, as long as we're playing with it. Like that. There we go. All right, and this is here's a flower pot over here. Okay, that's good. And how about up here? Let's put one up here. This is just the first coat of paint. Got to get something on here, right? So, all right. Now, already you're going, man, that didn't take long. Really did it? Did it? Now, let's see, well, I need something. I need a tiny brush. Small brush. Too small. I feel like Goldilocks. Okay, so here's a, what is this? Gosh, did I clean these glasses today? You're going, I thought she said she got her eyes done. They seem worse. Well, I don't think they are. In fact, I don't think they are, though. I've gotten the other one done on Thursday. Thursday,
high noon.
High noon, all right? All right, let me just see there. Oh, I think they were dirty. This is much better. I'm cleaning them, all right? That's extraordinary. I think that's why I never knew my vision was kind of wonky, because my glasses were always dirty anyway. So, oh, look at that. I can read it perfectly now. Gosh.
And so what is it? Is it a big secret? You're not going to tell anybody? Yep, I know what it is. I'm not going to let you know, though.
That's right, man. I know, but you don't know. It's a quarter inch.
Quarter inch?
Yeah, angle brush like this,
Okay.
and we're going to put the little top of here on there, like that. I'm going to kind of ignore my chalk. My chalk's almost, it's so fat, it's almost like a place mark. Then I'm going to come over here to the top of this one, and I will just paint with dark brown any part of the chalk I don't like, okay? All right, so that's that. And then what? Oh yeah, so let's take a little more white to that. And let's just lighten up this side of this flower pot. Same over here. Little, just wipe off the excess paint. See, like that? Just wipe it off. And then come in here, tap off the excess paint. You don't need a lot of globs of paint on your brush, just on the sides. Okay, tap it off. And now we're going to say, this is a little lighter. Blend this out, considering the light's coming from the lantern. See, this is what we're saying. And then here, like over here, like that. Okay, so far so good, yeah? Now, let's take a little bit of dusting purple and white. I want this one a little bit more purple. So I'm just going to change the color on this pot, a little bit purpler. Don't ask me, I just felt like that would be nice. And then here's that. Now pinch the brush. I want you to see me pinch the brush to make this work, and then pull it this way. So the top of this is a little lighter on one side. Okay. Now what happens? Well, all right, we're almost done with the picture. You're going, no, we're not. I said, yeah, we are. Really, we'll get this done in an hour. This is such a fun little picture, isn't it? Not hard. All right, so clean the brush. Now, clean white paint, and let's go up here, and let's put in this flower box here like this little box. It's white, and then we're going to come back on the sides and kind of at an angle like that. This is in front, and the same thing here. Let's just sort of line these up, though. I'll put them in better now that I'm painting them than when I drew them, okay? Straight up and down on the sides, and then back here at a little angle. Okay, a little bit of a, more in the shadow area right here, so this will be a little bit darker here on the side here, just like this. Okay, and let's pinch the brush. Let's say this is the very front of this. I want these to kind of be the same size, right? Like that. Does that make sense? And then we're going to say they've got some little feet coming down here like this. There'd be a little foot under there. See, some sort of little foot is coming down here like that. Okay, and let's just give that another little coat of paint. All right, now let's see what's going on here. All right, maybe a little white right here. And then pinch your brush and just sort of blend that in. Okay, pinch your brush. Remember, I want the right side of the pots to be lighter. Pinch your brush and just kind of work that around. There we go. Okay, moving on. All right, moving on. We've got a little, what I did was I came back here and I just said there was a table back here. And then I came back up here and kind of to the left of my pole and said, up about, what is this, about 3 fingers below my, yeah, just about 3 fingers below my top of my umbrella. Put another little shelf right here, okay? And then let's put a little bit of a tiny bit of white on the lip of this pot here. Okay, all right, so far so good. Now we're going to change colors, go into the burnt sienna, some yellow, and a little cad red medium. More yellow, that's cad yellow medium. And let's make a flower pot color. Come down like this under here and make a little flower pot color. And then let's see, we had some on this shelf. We had 3 little flower pots on this shelf. I mean, this is just your brush going doop, 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 doop. And then we did some bigger pots on here. And as you remember in these other lessons, pot shapes are just sort of little tapered boxes. Okay, nothing too tricky about that. We said there were 3 pots coming here on this shelf. Like that. Okay. And then, what? Oh, I forget. What else has we got? Oh, we got this color here. So what are we going to do with this color? Let's just put a little of this color down here. A little bit of this burnt sienna color just down here on our table. And I'm going to take a little cad yellow medium and a little cad red medium and make kind of a bright orange color. And I'm going to put that down here like this and kind of squish that around a little bit brighter. And then as long as we're doing that, let's put a little bit of yellow into our lantern like that. Let's fill in the inside of this. And over here like that. Let's just say that there's our lantern here. Like that. Okay. Oh, that's fun. And I think I had another little lantern here. We're just going to indicate there might be one there. All right. And here's our flower pots. Oh yeah, we're in the yellow. Okay, so let's take a little bit of yellow and just CAD yellow medium and just kind of sideways here. You want to leave it dark under the pots, but this is just a little bit of a highlight here on the front, as long as we're playing. See, once you know how the colors of something, it's really easy to do it. Does that make sense? Once you know where the colors are, it's like having a coloring book. You know, once you know where you're going to paint the colors, this part gets really easy. So now I'm going to take a little bit of yellow oxide, and I'm just going to come around here. Now this is where, if you wanted to, you could use tape and tape this. I think this wouldn't be a terrible thing to tape. We're not going to, but you could. A little bit of yellow oxide, a little bit of white, a little bit of yellow. And I want to go ahead and, using just this little angle brush, I'm going to come down here, pinch it, and add my frame. A little more yellow oxide with this. Add my here's my frame. Now remember, yellow generally, if you want it bright, only paints over white. So whatever you do here, it's not going to be very bright. I think I almost want some of the burnt sienna with it too. Make this a little more gold, almost like a golden wood frame. And let's try that. And then let's get a little more yellow oxide. Notice that each time I do something, I get more paint. Part of the reason people have trouble is they don't use enough paint. You know, each time I'm doing some little tricky thing here, I get more paint. I mean, that's important. And we're going to say that this post starts back here like that, and I'll fix that. Okay, so here's our, make sure this angle and this angle are the same, okay? And let's come over and do this one, like that. We started to talk about our week. What did we do this week, John? We did something fun. Oh yeah, we got invited to dinner to our friend David's house. He's one of the artists that takes lessons from me here in Houston. I have sort of stopped doing that for a little bit because we've been so busy with the filming. But David's been taking lessons from me for years. And I want to say something. I'm going to throw David under the bus now because he's my good friend. I'm going to do it. Haha, sorry, David. You're going, right? So David's got some extraordinary paintings. I mean, over the years, he's taken lessons from me. Some of you, if you looked at it, my Houston Facebook students, you'll see David's picture and his stuff. He's got some great pictures. And so I was really excited for John to see some of David's work. Thought that would be just cool.
Thought I'd see them all hanging all over the wall.
Yeah, and so he had like one or two, and I said, and the rest were all stacked up and framed against a wall, right? The ones he hadn't given away. And I said, what's the deal, David? And he goes, well, he says, when I look at that painting, all I can think of is a stunning Gauguin. He had copied Gauguin. It was stunning. He says, and big too, like 30 by 36 by 48, big painting and all fancy frame. He says, I just see that I should have painted the mango differently. And I stare at that and I just think I'm wrong. Now here's the deal, you guys. I mean, let's just have a heart to talk, you and me, right? You and me. This is the heart to talk. This is Ginger telling you how it is, right? Every week you're getting better. I'm getting better every week. If you sat around and whined about the fact that you could have painted it better 10 years ago, of course you could paint it better today. I would be very sad if you couldn't paint it better today. These are all benchmarks of where you were creatively. These are all benchmarks of where you are creatively at the time you painted it. And sometimes it's a nice record of how you've gotten better. Sure, you look at something you did a year ago, you're going to do it better today. I would certainly hope so. If you're not getting better, you're stagnant. You know, your mind is constantly deciphering patterns, and you're getting better at hand-eye coordination, and you're seeing more shapes and stuff, and you're seeing more lights and darks, and you're seeing more contrast. And so you might look at a painting you did last year that you were just happy as a clam with, and then, are clams happy?
Oh, they're very happy.
Are we sure? Okay, we say these things, and I feel like we really are speaking for clams out of turn here, but
no.
But perhaps not. But anyway, let's just stop that. I mean, I was a guest at his house. I still wanted to eat dinner, so I kept my mouth shut.
But now we won't.
Now that dinner's over, dinner was good. I got fed dessert. I feel like I can comment right now. And this is the deal.
David,
be proud
hang
of
him
your
up,
stuff.
buddy.
Hang them up, darling. Be proud of your artwork. Show the world. We put your stuff up on Pinterest.
So the
quit
world's already
comparing
seen it.
yourself to other people. You don't know how long they've been painting, what their deal is, what they see. Somebody may be painting and with such a handicap that they can barely hold a brush, and and their efforts are extraordinary. You'd be almost like you trying to paint left-handed blindfolded sometimes.
Yeah.
And they've got something, or you don't know what the deal is. Let's just celebrate people's wins.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say, because it's a win for people. It's absolutely a win. Thanks. That's my lecture for the day, right? That's my thing.
That's the lecture for the moment.
For the moment.
No telling when something else may come up.
Something else, yeah, that's right. Just
Well,
don't hold
speaking
your
of
breath.
that, what about the AT&T and the whole 6 gig gone in a day?
Oh yeah. Let me tell you something.
Oh
here.
man, I can't. 6 gigs in a day.
Well, yeah.
Got her stumped on that one.
Yeah, here's the deal. I've got AT&T, and in order for you to get, if you want to use your personal hotspot, I think we had this saga last week where we had to get more gigs, right?
More gigs for.
And we had 3, and my ex-husband and I share. We have the 2 phones together, and he was off on a job, and he needed the internet, and so he called me up and said, "You've got to update me." So I went ahead, and it was $20 extra a month to get him 3 more gigs. Okay, and so they started me over again at 6, right?
Yeah.
He had used them up in an evening and didn't bother to tell me, I might say. Not who's bitter, right? Didn't bother to tell me. So he happened to be passing through today, and he was talking about some high-speed internet he finally had actually purchased. I'm in an orange now, in case you're wondering, right? And I said, well, what about the gigs of the extra $20 I spent to get you that extra stuff? And he goes, oh, well, used it up in a day. I had to go actually buy internet. Well, you could have done that before you asked me to spend the 20. So then I called up AT&T and said, it feels a little bit like a rip. He used it up in one evening, practically, not even in a day, He used this up. We're not sure how he did it. It doesn't really matter. He swears he wasn't watching movies. But even still, all right? So I said that I thought that it would be nice if they'd like to refund me my $20, because I felt that I had been a little bit ripped off. See, the wonderful thing about having a YouTube channel is lots of people hear this, right? You really want people to hear this? They should have given me my $20 back. I might have kept my mouth shut. But they said, well, you're entitled to every 6 months some sort of I wish I hadn't done it refund. And how that worked, and apparently back in October, when we had gone on that first cruise, I had been told that I needed to buy some sort of South American service so that I could use the phone when I was, on shore in like Honduras or someplace, okay? Well, and then discovered the phone didn't work at all. So naturally, when I got back, I called them up and said, that was $40 that went up in smoke, and they gave me the money back. So I'm just letting you guys know the secret here. This is the secret. Apparently, you can whine and complain once every 6 months and get some sort of refund for something with them.
I'm telling you.
That's their policy. Good to know, right? If I just complained at March, I would have been okay. I could have had my $20 back. I needed to wait till March. Anyway, I'm thinking, you know what? I'm going to tell all my friends this. They're all going to know. So, being a Diamond member apparently didn't mean diddly squat today.
Anything. I told you, they were doing that last time just to appease you, get you off the phone.
I know. Well, and then, have you ever been on a phone with them? There's some sort of machine that says, you can speak to me in full sentences. On what planet can you speak? What, if I speak in Martian, maybe you'd get it? Because I'm telling you what, there's these series of beeps and clicks going, and then it says,
could you repeat that, please?
Could you repeat that, please? I'd like to speak to a person. Well, we can't give you to just any person.
Which person do you want?
What kind of person do you want?
Give me a little bit more about your details.
Tell us a little bit about what's your secret password. We can go on from there, right? And then they go on to say that this little machine goes, and so who did you want? Well, I want to speak to customer service. Well, why?
Tell us why so we can direct you to the right person.
I don't care. Give me somebody.
Human. Give me a human.
I want a refund. Sorry.
I need a real person.
I want the person that's going to give me my money back.
You should try that next time.
Do you go one of those? I want the person. This is.
Oh man.
How about a supervisor? This is a complaint. and then there's more clicking sounds. It sounds like something out of E.T. More clicking sounds, and then we get to another thing. It's a completely wrong thing, and we have to start over going, hi, what's your secret password? We'd love to get you the right person. You're closer. You're not closer. 20 minutes later, maybe 30, after all these clicks and different robots, we finally get to somebody.
And then we ask for the $20
I gotta
back.
fix this. I gotta slant this down just a little bit here. Do you see that? This little line has to slant down. I was wrong. It's all right. I know how to do it. This line has to slant a little bit. I can fix it.
You can do anything.
I'm coming up with the chalkboard. I had to slant that line down. Sorry. So anyway, that was the AT&T experience, and then you really don't want me to stay on the line and take a survey, people. This is not the day to ask me for a survey. No, this isn't the So I just think that's very funny, And then you never know who watches this stuff, because I know they think they're trying to be helpful, and I suppose it does beat sitting on the line with the elevator music for 15 minutes, and every once in a while, someone will be with you shortly. Someone will be with you shortly. The robot at least keeps you mildly entertained with all the clicks and stuff, right?
They're coming back once in a while.
Yeah, it says, this is your robot speaking, You can speak to me in real sentences. Well, apparently not. Apparently we can't, robot, because obviously you don't have any clue what I just said. Okay, I'm going back here with some dark here, under here, kind of defining this again. That was a little wet when I did it before. Okay, good to know, right? See, we're almost done here. We're just chatting away. Somebody actually had the gall to write me today.
Well, now, let's think of the words before we say them. Now go.
Well, we can't think of a nice way to say it.
Then go ahead and say it.
Well, somebody wrote and said they really would just on and on about the doctor in the chat. For God's sakes, just paint, lady,
She didn't want anything to do with chatty.
No chattiness. And listen, she was on our we've got this new series called Be a Fly on the Wall, right?
If you don't know what the fly on the wall is, it's just Ginger and I on a work day. We turn the camera on. You get to sit on the wall and just watch us. We'll watch her work and me talk on the phone, because that's the thing.
If John's on the phone, or sometimes I talk to you while he's on the phone. It's like, I don't know. It's
just
what
like
it
you're
is.
over for a chat or whatever,
Yeah,
and I'm busy working, and we're in the same room.
And we share space, and we visit with each other, and sometimes he's on the phone, and we're doing a thing, and you get to watch me paint and design a painting that may or may not see the light of day.
Oh, speaking of that, I happen to have it right there underneath.
Do you?
Underneath that one.
All right, now, please in mind, it's not done yet. Looks done to most of you. This is not done. So this is the painting that you get to watch me paint, and
that is on Raz 101.
The Raz 101,
which
episode
is
2.
Yeah,
episode 2.
This is Reality Art
and
Studio.
In Reality Art Studio, and it was designed to go with this piece, right? This apple piece. Don't you think that's kind of neat? These are the tangerines. I say I've got a little bit more to do on this, and the next Raz I do, and they're not scheduled. I will finish this and start another painting. So
sometime in the near future.
Sometime in the near future. But anyway, so she's writing me, and my response to that was to just scorched earth with the comment, right? Sorry.
But she didn't. She
No,
did
I
the next
didn't.
best thing.
I did the next best thing, which was what?
You blocked her and removed her from her channel.
Yes, then I thought that, I did. I blocked her and removed her for the channel so she can chat with someone else.
A lot of people
I
don't
like
like our
honest opinions.
chit-chats.
It's not that I don't want opinions, but you know what I mean? And I do. If you have a question and stuff, we entertain all kinds of opinions. But the thing of it is that if you don't enjoy the stories in the chat, that's what you get here. It's the stories in chat, right?
Stories, chat, a little art, a little education.
But you get a lot of art education.
We
That's
think
what
you do.
get. I think you get a lot of art education. All right, so I've got a little bit of orange and color with CAD red medium and CAD yellow medium, and we're making a few little streaks coming down here in the background, like this. And we're putting a little orange here on the, oops, too much, we need a little bit more yellow. And we're putting it, like I say, we want a little bit brighter down in here now. See what I'm doing here? And maybe a little bit brighter on this little pot. Acrylics dry darker, so your first layer of whatever is sometimes can be disappointing, because you turned around and you thought we were just swell, and then it wasn't, okay? So anyway, that was this thing with AT&T today, which was, I could have done without. But I think everybody has those. But, it pays you every once in a while to just call the phone company and just say, I think I'm overpaying. What do you think? Oftentimes when you say that, they'll go, oh, you're right. can we lower your price for you? You know.
Oh, you know what I did today? I
What?
called Verizon because we were running out of data on my Verizon. My boy's been going crazy, and we had 24 gigs plus the rollover of. We have about 28 gigs of data for the entire month, which I thought was more than enough, but apparently it's not. And so
Really?
I said, I see you have an unlimited plan. And they go, yes. And looking at you, it looks like you need the unlimited plan. And I go, is it going to cost me much? No, sir. It's going to cost you $10 less.
For Verizon, the unlimited plan?
Yep. And I go, are you going to throttle me down if I go over a certain gigabyte? She goes, no, you're only going to get throttled down if you get on a tower that's oversaturated. You get down to 3G instead of the 4G. But you won't get down to the 128K.
Which is what AT&T was doing to
AT&T
us.
jumped you down to
Well,
128. That's dial-up, people.
Yeah, that's dial-up, and that's just ridiculous, right? So,
So my vote is Verizon. Sorry for those
well,
that
I
don't
think
like Verizon.
it's okay to, you know, we talk about this stuff. You know, one of the things that every one of us here is, we're all blatant consumers. If we get a good art deal, I mean, listen, you go to my Facebook page and you'll see our group, and somebody's found a good deal at Michael's, and they'll share it with you. Somebody's got a good way to put brushes, they're going to share brushes and stuff. We've got people out on the know. All of us are bargain hunters. We're hunting. If I feel like there was some good deal, I'm happy to tell you. We all want deals, and so what we don't want to feel, and I think particularly when you get to be as senior citizens, we don't want to feel ripped off. And I think there's a feeling, well, they'll never figure it out. Well, guess what? We do figure stuff out. We can figure stuff out eventually. We figured it out and we don't like it. How's that? All right, so let me just widen this a little bit too. Okay, so there's our chalkboards, there's our plants. Do you see how this is coming in so beautifully? I mean, it's so easy, and we haven't had to do much of anything.
No, you're just kind of sitting there throwing some color around.
I'm just throwing some oranges and some reds, you know what I mean? I'm just going to put a little bit of bright next to here because this is where this light is, right? Like that. So when I paint, and then maybe something here, and I don't know, a little bit of darker red down in here. Just, you see me kind of playing with this. Just kind of dry brushing on like that. And then I want to make this pretty dark up here. I got this little cap a little bit too big up here, but that's easy on the lantern. Just make it a little smaller. Okay, something like that. So I didn't want a real big lantern back there, and I wanted a brighter lantern up here. So let's just make that. Here's a little bit of yellow. See, that's too much paint here. Let's just fix that. I have to repaint this lantern a couple times. That's all right. I don't mind. There. All right. Let's put a little red with it. Then I'll come back and put the upside up piece. Okay, we've got to fix this lantern, but that can be drying. We'll fix that in a minute. All right. So in the meantime, let's just take some yellow and phthalo blue, more blue like that. Make a dark green color. Just take a tiny bit of cad red medium to it and darken it up. And let's come under here like this and tap in some dark green here like that. And let's see, how about in this pot too? Let's just put in some dark green, like that. And I've got a little bit of dark green I'm putting here, and up in here like this, and for sure up in this one I'm going to put some dark green, like that. So this is my basis for where my flowers are going. All right. And how about up here in these little pots like that? I'll just put a little dark green. Toop to toop, toop to toop toop, toop to toop 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 toop. You can even do the sound effects. That's kind of fun. All right, what else did we do this week, John? That was fun. That was entertaining. Now just add a little more white into the green, right?
Well, we went shopping, and we did take advantage of. Minette told us about the bargains at Michael's on their canvas, because we're going through some bigger canvases and more of them, so we have to get them while they're on sale too.
Yeah, so we got some more of
tomorrow.
those 8x10s. These 8x10s would cost us like right at a buck a piece.
$1.03.
$1.03 a piece. You can't beat that, right? No, can't beat that. So I've got a little bit of a light green coming here on top of this.
Now, when you get ready to do the flowers, I'm going to zoom in on that action.
Yeah, just you can see where I'm just adding a few little bits of light green here and there.
You're just
Like
kind of
that.
doing the underpainting
Just
for that.
kind of the underpainting for the flowers, right? Just putting a few little bits of light green. First I start with the dark green and then kind of lighten it on the right hand side. Add a
Again,
little bit
back
of
to
green.
front.
You're kind of far back. You want to come a little closer?
I am. I'm just grabbing my equipment to do so.
Oh, good.
Zooming in.
All right, so we're going to sit there, and then here's the thing. Here's where the people kind of lose it when they're talking about this kind of a painting, is that you can't paint wet, beautiful red and pink flowers over wet green. All right, let me just come straight down and put my pole in here with the umbrella like that before I get too far down here like that. There's my umbrella pole. All right, should kind of be straight down from the center, right? And then let's see what else. As long as I'm on that umbrella here, I'm gonna let me just come up under here like this and define the top of this. That's not defining well. Is this one of the new ones? I think so. All right. I'm just kind of, this kind of curves around like this. And then let's get a little bit of blue going here and white. Right, and then under here like this. I just want a little dark line under here like this for that little top cap. And then I just want this little line a little bit narrower. And there should be a dark line right next to this, like this one, all right, like there. There we go, a little dark line. Okay, so far so good. Yeah, there we go, just kind of fixing that. Just these small little things kind of make things better. Let's see, what do we got here? So this green is wet. So what you can't do, remember, you've got your complements here. Red and green are complements, and so what happens is when you mix them together, you get mud. So one of the biggest things that I see with art that I get back from guys is that if your flowers are muddy, it's because you either didn't paint them over white or you tried to paint them over wet green. That's just, you just can't do it. All right. I mean, this is pretty simple to do, but you still have to follow some rules, and you can't paint purple over wet yellow, and that's got to be dry a little bit. So I'm using purple to define my lantern here like that. I'm just going to make that a little darker. Okay, so I had to put the lantern in, and there we go, better, see? But you just have to wait till things dry, okay? And I'll do a little bit of the light purple up here for the where the holder is, up here on the wall, like that, something like that. And the same thing here, I'll lighten up the top of this one now, like that. There we go. All right, so we have that little lantern back there. Let's put a little one here, for instance. You can just put a little lantern right here, and this is a very little tiny brush like this when we're using it at an angle. Saying that we're just suggesting a lantern. We're not, we don't have to have too many. All right, so I'm going to take the hairdryer and just dry all the green.
Okay, before you do that, why don't we do one of the art
critique?
ginger packs?
Oh yeah, this is the ginger pack. So what happens is, a lot of times people are kind of anxious, to send me anything for fear that I'm going to say something mean about your picture. What I'm going to do is find some things that you can do to make it better, and maybe it's just one or two things. And not everybody's painting at the same level, so maybe what I might say to one person isn't what I'm going to say to somebody else. But whatever I'm going to say to you, maybe I think it's just great, and you should just go frame it, and we're all going to just cheer for you, right? So there's a lot of those. But this is one of the. This is some.
This from Beth.
Who?
Beth. This
is Beth. What I want to say is this was our birthday painting that we gave, that free lesson we gave, and I've gotten a lot of those back. If you want to see what people are painting, go to my Pinterest page, Ginger Cook Live, all one word on Pinterest, and you can see the Student 2017 board. You'll see a lot of those. And what I really like about this is the, all the beautiful colors. But one of the things that had happened to Beth was that you see those flowers up there on the left, those gold ones? That is exactly what I'm talking about. You see how dark they are, those gold ones with the little red centers up there on the left? See that? And so my suggestion had been to paint those over white and then put the color, all right? Now here, see, that's what I told her. Everything was great, good shadows on the rocks, and, I thought it would be good if she varied the shape of the stepping stones. But, but basically the main thing was dry the green first before painting the flowers, then add white, then dry the white, and then add your flower colors. And that's a way to get really beautiful, bright colors. So then here's her final piece that she sent back. and look at the difference on how bright those nice gold flowers are. She didn't do much with the steps. I think she liked those, and that's okay. She liked those the way they were, but she made those gold flowers on the left really, pop because she painted them white first. And that's really all she needed on that. Isn't that
So
cool?
here's the original again.
Here's the original. And sometimes it's just a suggestion like that. It's just a suggestion on how to do that. That's fun. Okay?
Just brings it a little bit more to life.
Yes.
All right. And we'll go back to you. Are you dry or do you need to dry?
I'm dry.
I figured you would be.
I'm dry. So now what we're going to do is we're going to follow the advice I gave Beth, and we're going to take some white, right? And we're going to come in here like this, up at the top of this one. I think I'm going to change brushes. Yes, we're going to change brushes. Get a little smaller brush. What is this one? This is a number 2 bright brush. This is a little brush. Take a little bit of white, and I'm going to come up here like this, and I'm going to tap on some white here like this. These are where some yellow flowers are going to go. And then I think I want just a little bit of white right here on the side of this pot here. That could be a little lighter, okay? And then as long as I'm happily doing white, I'm going to just lighten this up here. This is second coat, like that. And put a few little thingies down here like this. I need to lighten this up here. In other words, do I need to just white's one of those colors you can touch up a little bit if you need to, okay? Now let's see, let's start up here and do the same thing with this one. A little bit of white, because we're going to put some yellow flowers over here. And yellow paints best over white. And I like the yellow because, let's see if you can see what I'm doing here. I like the yellow because
yeah, they wanted a close-up of you actually.
Yeah, so you like the yellow because of the lantern, all right? And so now I'm going to come over here to see these little flower pots, and I'm going to just take some white and put a little white on this one. And let's see, as long as I'm doing that, let's just take a little white and just add a little highlight to my post. That's not a terrible idea. Maybe here on the rim of my little umbrella, like that. Just where else can I put some white? Oh yeah, so I wanted some white flowers there, and then I've got a few little light flowers right back in here like this that you don't see. Let's just come down here like that, and let's just put some white here. And maybe down in here too, just down here below. I'll just tap in some white ones here over the green. Just sticking them out like that. See, that's kind of cute. Good enough. All right, so now what I'll do is I'll take a little purple and white on my brush, a little bit of purple. I'm not going to mix it very well. And I'm just going to tap in some purple and white flowers here like this. See, I'm just going to dot, 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 a little bit of bright brush, just like a number 2. Is that cute? Like that. There you go.
Ginger,
purple. Yeah?
what exactly do you mean when you say pinch the brush?
I mean exactly this. I take it and I pinch it.
Over.
I take it and I pinch it and I squeeze it like that. I pinch it back to its shape. Well, that's exactly what I mean. All right, so then take a little bit of
showing it too.
Ultramarine blue and white, and we're going to come up to this one and tap in some ultramarine blue and white. Let's see, too much white and more blue. Okay, here's some blue flowers. And then I thought we had some real pretty ultramarine blue flowers above this one. And you'll notice I've got a little white on my brush, so they're just kind of playing over in here. Just sort of overlapping flowers. Then I'm looking around going, I've got some red flowers here and some blue behind these. So as long as I've got the paint out, I bought the color, might as well just put some blue flowers out like that, see? And let's see, do I have any other blue flowers? I have this little middle pot is blue flowers. Sort of a combination of blue and purple here. So I'm going to just say, here's some blue flowers here, like that.
Yeah, here's a good question. Why do I have such a hard time with flowers?
I give up.
I give up too. Come on.
Why do you have such a hard
on.
time? I don't know. I think it's because you've got to kind of dot them on, you know.
You have
and
to dab.
And the light's coming from the top. The darker colors are usually on one side and slightly underneath. You always start with the darker colors first, all right? So now, and we're leaving that to dry. So let's take some
I would suggest
magenta
watching these series
and
of
white,
videos.
right? Let's take some magenta and white and come back up here and put in a little more white here. Let's put in a magenta flower right like there, like that, little magenta one. And I think I could do something in here with some magenta flowers up this way, kind of like that. There we go. And then I'm going to take actually some naphtha crimson, which is your red, you know, that's your major red color, and I'm going to have some brighter red flowers this way. Okay, it's kind of, remember, a little bit darker on the left. See how that's kind of two-tone? Then I'll take some white, pure white, kind of wipe off the brush like that, in pure white, while this is still wet, and tap in some little tiny dots of white. See, like that, and that's your lighter color right on top. Tap, 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 and stop. See, that looks cute, right?
Tap, 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 and stop.
All right, so now, let's see, I'm looking for any other red stuff. Oh yeah, there's some red flowers right here. That's good. Tap, tap, tap. Put some red flowers. And maybe a little bit of magenta with it. A little bit of darker one over here like that. Okay. And then there's some real cute cad red medium flowers and red flowers in here. So let's put these in. Let's just tap some red flowers in this little flower pot right here. And make sure that you have some that are kind of smaller and are kind of flying away a little bit loose. Okay, like that over the side. And now we're going to take a little bit of white and yellow and cad red medium and make sort of a, let's come over here and make it white and yellow and cad red medium. It makes it almost peach color. Do you see that? And now I'm going to just tap on a lighter peach color on this side. All right, that's pretty. See, so there we go. That's nice. And then back to the orange, cad red medium and cad yellow medium. Let's make sort of a bright orange color. And tap some orange right in here like that.
Oh, this is good. This is from Judy.
Okay.
If you are old enough to remember Brill Cream, the men's hairdressing product, think Brill Cream when painting flowers. A little dab will do you.
Oh, I love that, Judy. That's absolutely right. We're all old enough to remember that, right?
Hey, speak for yourself. I have no idea what you're talking about.
I know. I'm sorry, John. It's just one of those things. Some of us are lucky enough to be in the know, right? We know these things. You know what I used to hate?
Oh, here we are. We're on the soapbox again.
No, when I was a kid, there was like 2 channels.
Oh, and who was the remote control?
There was no
remote.
John, the kids were the remote control. Yeah. And not only that, right? Not only that, but there was something, they had some sort of stupid fights on at night.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
There's nothing on, you know, Saturday there was the blessing of the cartoons, but boy, I'm telling you what, and the Lone Ranger and Hopalong Cassidy, but you couldn't count on good programming.
No. And
even when I got married into Cinema's dad, we lived in Aspen, and we had cable. What came on late at night was how to if we wanted to watch a movie, we had to sit through these infomercials. You got 5 seconds of old movies, and then these infomercials if you're watching late at night. And apparently they wanted everybody to raise chinchillas in their basement. You guys remember that? And you were supposed to raise them for people's fur coats. So at some point, not only was your basement going to just stink like I can't imagine, but
well, look at the money you're going to make.
But you're going to have to kill them little babies too, right? It's not like your chickens, right? They were soft and furry. It's like killing the tribbles. You know, not a good thing. All right, so I'm going to come right back here into my yellow, right, which I've got, right? And remember, because my white's dry now, so I'm going to tap in some yellow right on top of the white.
Hey, here's a question for you.
Okay.
I know that you use Matisse, but what type of paint would you suggest for someone not wanting to spend a lot just to practice working on?
Well, that's a good question. We're talking about paint here. And if you wanted to know what I'm doing, I put a little yellow oxide over here. So I'm going to come over here and put a little yellow oxide on these white flowers, and then come back with a little white, and then add the yellow here. See on this side, kind of the right side, see what I'm doing? I'm going to put a little bit of yellow right there, a couple little dashes of yellow. And then up in here, I'm going to just tap over that orange and put some yellow flowers. See what happened? See? We're putting some flowers. Yeah, isn't that cute?
I think it's looking good.
So then let's just put a little yellow back in here like that. Something happened here. I don't know what. We're just saying some flowers. I don't know. Okay. So we're still putting flowers in. So the thing is that here's the deal. The secret to not spending a lot of money on paint is put very little out, and save what you're not using in kind of a airtight container and use it again, and mist it, okay? And try not to put out gobs of paint. Most people, where they lose money on paint is that not the brand of paint or how much they're spending on it. I want to get a little bit darker here, back by this here, like this, where my chalk was. Is they waste. There's a lot of paint being wasted, and you know that can be kind of tough when you're wasting paint, and when you're practicing. I would say put a little bit out.
Also use a smaller canvas, maybe.
And use a smaller canvas. Don't do, everybody wants to paint these 16 by 20 canvases because you saw them was at a painting party. And they use really cheap paint. I know because I teach there. They use really cheap.
And we even tried to use some of their paints here, and it takes 3 or 4 coats to get the same
make
coverage.
It. You don't save money because you just keep painting over and over and over again. You think you're saving money buying cheap paints. I promise you, in my opinion, you're really not saving much, okay? So I'm going to keep paint some flowers here. I want you to see I'm just going to keep adding some flowers. I want to come back up in here between, say, these flowers. Let's see, what do we got right here? We got to put something here. So here, let's just put a few little orange flowers here, like that, right there. I'm going to put some orange flowers right there. I don't think I had them in this one. And then I want a little bit of brighter orange on my pots here. There we go. Let's make the pots a little bit brighter. There we go. So we're still bringing the pots
and
forward.
Also use a good quality brush.
Use a good quality brush. Use smaller canvases. One of the reasons that we do it on our website, we have tons of paintings this size, so you don't waste a lot of paint learning. I encourage you to buy the good paints. And for heaven's sakes, even if you're going to buy an inexpensive paint, get the white in the professional color. Get the reds and the whites, the professional color. Try to go to the professionals and just paint smaller till you understand how to paint something, then paint bigger. And then if you want to do an underpainting, for instance, like an example was if you're doing a big painting like a 30 by 40 and it's a sunset and the underpainting is yellow, well then that's where you use your student grade yellow to cover it. You don't use your expensive yellow.
Because it'll still bind, and acrylic will still bind with the acrylic.
The acrylics will still bind to it, and so there's there are absolutely certain applications when a less expensive paint can be handy, but for the most part, my best thing is to just I know that people are on a budget, and I would say paint smaller, then until you understand exactly how to paint it, and then take your favorite one after you've done a small one, then do it large, because you will use. This probably took me, when I was designing this painting today, this took me, probably about an hour and a half. How long have we been playing with this?
Oh, right now? Mm-hmm. Only an hour 15.
Hour 15, but we've been chatting and stuff, because I know exactly what I'm painting now, because I've done it once, all right? Does that make sense? All right, now we're going to go into some
probably
green.
if you just sat there and painted it, you can do it in 45 minutes.
I could do this in about 30 minutes now, because I know what I'm painting, and the same thing for you. Once you've done it, it's a little faster. I'm going to mix a kind of a light green color now. And I want to come in here like this, and I want to poke a little bit of light green here on some of these, like this. And come back up here with a little bit of light green. Maybe I've got some light green, just some sort of little other kind of leaves that are kind of coming up like that. You see me pinch the brush so it's skinny. I want to come back up here behind these and paint some, just some sort of green grasses and something that's going up here like that, some sort of plant. Lighten up this plant right here. Remember I told you acrylics dry darker, so let's lighten up a few of these leaves in front, like that. Let's come in here like that, lighten up a few little green leaves like that, so it's coming along. And then I think we need some sort of flowers right here, so let's cause, you wouldn't necessarily see the pot, so let's go back with magenta and white and just make up some flowers that we're going to put right here, see? We're going to put up a whole little flower pot thing and you didn't see it. Maybe cover up some of this and then come right up with the white on top of it like that and lighten this up. Little dots.
Would you like to mention the seascape, the one behind you?
Yeah, I can mention the seascape. Well, what about it?
It's not done.
Yeah, that's not done. I'm still working on that. That's not done. It's not mentioned behind it. But speaking of seascapes,
and I'm glad you gave that as a segue.
Seascapes, because our Wave and Water Masterclass, every month they get a painting, and when we got all these cameras, we got so excited, and so I sat here for 3 days and just shot this giant big painting. And John shot
30 by 24.
30 by 44, and John had 4 cameras on it and wasn't doing it with me. So now he's going back, zooming in and out and trying to edit all this, and it's making him crazy. We don't do that anymore.
We've learned.
But in the meantime, we've got this great painting, and so you're on day 1 still, right? Of
Day
the
1
editing.
is finished, and the first one of day 2 is up.
And
so
the
I've got
first one
6
of
of them up.
day
6
2
parts
is
are
now
done.
up. So I felt kind of bad for our Wave and Water members.
Oh, I gotta back out.
So I created this painting, back up a little more. I created this painting this week, and that will be up as an additional Wave and Water painting for our members. And this is a 16 by 10. So the Wave and Water class is different than a regular video lesson library. We never put the Wave and Water ones for sale. At least at this point, we've never done it. We may do it with that giant one.
The giant one, we're going to try to recoup some costs on it.
But because that was just crazy. But we're constantly improving our technology and the lessons we give you. And I think this is really pretty. This was called
Southern Ocean. I called it something. I don't remember. Southern Ocean something.
Southern Ocean something. Okay. All right.
All right.
So back to our
Regularly scheduled program.
regularly scheduled program. All right. That was kind of cool, right? And have you shown the horse yet? Did you show the horse yet?
No, I did not show the horse. I mentioned the horse, but you're going to show this week's.
Yeah, well, this week's lesson. Then our regular members get every week. They get a new lesson every week in the lesson library. And sometimes it's 1 cookie, sometimes it's 2. These lessons can be 2 to 3 hours long. They all come with personal art coaching.
And it's right there. Yeah.
And this is the zoom back out on that.
Ode.
This is what's coming. The Ode to Coffee is coming this week for our regular members and our regular lesson library.
Oh, what size is that? That 9? That looks like a 9 by 12.
This is a
12 by.
11 by 14.
Oh.
11 by 14. So this is going to be the painting for the release for this week. Last week it was the wildfire horse. You know, that beautiful horse. That'll be this week. We have really exciting stuff that we do. And so that's this week's, that'll be this Thursday, sometime this Thursday. And it isn't necessarily crack it on Thursday morning, so please don't write and say, where is it? You know, you guys, I know who you are that write us. It'll be sometime Thursday. John will have it up.
We shoot for Thursday, please.
We shoot for Thursday. That is our best hope, is to shoot for Thursday. Okay, so now I'm still painting on this. I've given everything a little bit of a chance to dry. I'm going to lighten this little edge up a little bit here on our lantern, bring out the little little cap a bit like that. See, just kind of touch that up. Now I want to take a different brush. Boy, what do I got here? You're going, we have no idea. You're the one sitting there. What do we got? I don't want that one. I feel like yeah, let's take a little pointy brush. This is a little Ruby Satin Silver 000. I'm going to dip it in water. I'm going to take a little bit of yellow. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to add some yellow lights to our umbrella like that, kind of at an angle like this. Almost if you were making W's with the dots. Does that make sense? Making like little W's with the dots. Like this. And we're going to just say that there's the dots. Like that, little tiny. There, all right. So there's our, I just want to say happy little lights. You like that? Happy little lights?
Happy little lights.
Happy little lights are being strung up here like this. You know, maybe some of them connect, some of them don't. You just want to suggest the lights. You don't want to tell a complete novel about them. How's that? We've suggested lights with that, and then we're going to put a little bit of Cad Red Medium with them and have some of them have a bit of an orange glow, because that's always nice, isn't it? Okay. So some of these have a little tiny bit of orange with them. Okay. Now, as long as I'm into the orange color, what could I put? Could I jazz up some colors? This is some Cad Red Medium. Okay, and I've got my little brush. I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to, this is why you want the good paint. And because you can really get the bright colors with your flowers. Cad Red Medium. Come in here like that on the See, look, I'm brightening up these flowers in front. Same thing here, brighten up a few of those. Okay, and then let's take some white and magenta. As long as I'm doing that, I've got this little tiny brush. Let's more white, and let's lighten up a few flowers right here like this. And you have to do this because you're popping along and then your acrylics dry darker. All right. So now I've got, you see me always pinching and pulling the brush. I'm always pulling it back to a point. That's one of my things, that's sort of my hot button here, is to just, there we go, sort of straightening up these legs now.
Button. That's interesting.
Hot button.
That's
You
a
like
hot
that? You
button,
just,
yeah.
you kind of got to do that. And I'm kind of erasing the chalk with a little bit of help from the tiny brush. And I got to tell you, this looks like the table's falling over. Does it look like the table's falling over to you?
It looks like, yeah, a little bit.
It's falling over. Well, you know what? I don't like that.
So you're going to fix it.
Yeah, we dried everything. I mean, how hard could it be to fix, right?
Can't be that hard.
Can't be that hard because I'm going to do it, right? So I'm going
Right.
to just straighten this out like this.
You're Ginger. We've seen you erase things before.
We're just going to straighten it out. We want it to come up a little bit, right? There's our table, and we want it to come up like that. I mean, that's easy.
Level
Okay?
it off a little bit.
Just level it off. If you see these things, you know, I mean, you just were kind of fooling around when you did it, but just, you know, just redo it, okay? And let's put a few little legs on this one. This one didn't, that other one didn't have it, but it doesn't hurt to just add a, you know, maybe you wanted to keep it going here behind there, like that, right? Little table, and the same thing with this one. Put another little leg right here and make sure this one's a little level too. There, all right, so we've got, here's that little leg. There's some little legs coming in the background here like that, okay? Now, what's left? Not a lot. Let's take some phthalo blue and yellow and make a very bright circus green. I'm just using this little brush here. And I want some, let's see, now you see all that paint on there. Let's just pull that off and just come in and put it on the tip. And I want to, just as my next layer of color, just with this little brush, I'm going to add just a few little highlights of green that are slightly in an accent like this. Maybe bring some leaves down here on the pot. Phthalo blue and yellow. You normally don't want this circus green, but you can add it when you're doing flowers like this. If you need to, you can add a bit.
You can get away with a little bit of
And
them.
you get away with a little bit, but not a lot of this. But you know, you absolutely can. Now let's take some white and add it to this mixture and make a little light green. And here we go. Here's a few little dots of light. Okay, there you go. A little bit of light green here somewhere. Now, how about a few little leaves down here? And maybe a little bit of magenta, a few little magenta and pink leaves that fell down
magenta.
here.
Now remember that on the way home from dinner tonight, we're driving down the highway, getting stuck behind traffic, and we see all these red lights from all the cars in front of us.
Yeah, they're all the same color red.
And we thought, wouldn't it really be nice if they were a different color?
Yeah,
and
we thought that.
magenta would be a good choice.
Yeah, yeah.
Add a little brightness to the day.
Yeah. What if some of them were a different color? I mean, I'm just asking. What if they were, right?
Why do they all have to be the same?
Yeah, I don't know. That I would think that I think that would be kind of cool. Now I'm just going around here, kind of erasing my any chalk I've got going here. I think I have a few chalk lines. I'm just sort of taking brown paint, taking those out like that. Okay. Okay, so back, zooming out, please, now. All right, look how close, look at our little picture. Isn't that just absolutely fun? And I'm going to take a little cad red medium here and maybe make some of these a little darker over here. Just a second. Reds are one of those things you can do second coats with. Okay, for sure. You can always make red a second coat of something. Maybe you'll see me put the paint in the brush, and maybe I've got a little bit of yellow back in
Sue's
here.
asking if we do not cook. Do you two not cook? We cook very seldom. We find it a lot cheaper just to go out and get a good full meal. It's sweet tomato.
Yeah, and I know that sounds kind of weird, but you know, and it's not that I can't cook, but we have discovered that that if we take the senior discount, the average person couldn't get away with this if you weren't getting that senior discount. It would not work at all, right? But we get a senior discount at Sweet Tomato, and we can actually eat their filet, and we can make that food. So we, on during the weekdays they only offer it till Monday through Thursday. We go out and do that. All right, so I'm brightening up the yellow in the front here, kind of brightening all this. Now this is where you could take either a pen or a brush, and then you could write something in here. And I thought it wasn't a terrible idea, really, honestly. I didn't think it was such a terrible idea to maybe write a poem in here for somebody.
Or a secret message.
Or a secret message, And you could do that. Otherwise, you could, I wrote herbs on this side and flowers on here, and then just sort of made up some stuff. You can see it in this one, okay, like that, right? But you can see we did pretty good here. I'm taking a little bit more of the ultramarine blue and white, and I want to lighten up these flowers here on the right, like that, because they started to get dark on me. Maybe I'll fill out these. Make these a little bigger. They came over here like this, okay? So you can see this was a pretty, this is pretty straightforward. I want to make sure I can kind of take a little brush and go under the pot like this. Make sure I've got the bottoms of these rounded, kind of dark purple under the pots. There you go. And let's see, let's fix the side of this one because I can see it's a little bit off here. Let's just come back up here and make that a little darker. And I probably should bring the yellow all the way over here like that and maybe drop it off of here like this. Let's just give it a second coat of yellow up here for these little flowers. Maybe a little yellow and white. That's always pretty too. Add a few little bits of light here. That's pretty wet. Let's how about up here like that. Tap in a few light ones like that. Okay.
Ginger, what is your favorite color to use?
Favorite color?
To use in painting.
Well, you see me use cad red all the time, don't you?
Is that your favorite though?
Well, I think I like to use it because it mixes with other colors and makes sort of a great, makes sort of a great. I like turquoises and blues, but you'll see me use golds, a lot of golds. But I like cad red medium because it allows me to
punch up a painting.
It punches up a painting. It mixes with a lot of stuff. Here we go. I'm just kind of lightening up the front of this. And again, this is just something you could do. You could take. This is probably where you'd want, and I think it's in the other room. This is where you'd want a fluid paint if you were going to use your brush.
Was that a hint? You want me to go get the pen?
Did I leave? I think I brought both.
You took them both over there.
I took those pens over there. I found some new pens. And I like them, so I'll show you those pens as long as they're over there. If you want to show me, I'll show you a pen.
I'll show them to you as I go get them.
Okay, thanks, John. Yeah. So it's just some, something there with our little stands here and our little shelf on our little picture, which is kind of cool. And then let's see, what are we doing up here while he's getting that? My biggest problem with pens, to sign and to do little, detail work is that they're good the first time you open them. They're just grand. And then good luck the next time. They've dried out. And I've tried tape. I've tried putting them in Ziploc bags, which works sort of and then doesn't. So we're trying a new brand, and I'll let you know if we think they're any good. But, that's our biggest thought is to try a new brand of paint. And I'm going to just take a little bit of light here and lighten these up on the top. There we go. And let's take some darker purple now and darken up some of these little flowers right here. Also, I've got to tell you, I've lost 25 pounds eating at the Sweet Tomato because we're just eating salads and stuff, and we just eat, I have my oatmeal for breakfast. And then I eat the salad stuff around, salad stuff, right? It's still salad stuff to me, John. It's, and the thing is, when John came down and said, you might want to consider changing how you eat, right? I mean, he wasn't being critical. He was just saying, I thought, I'd been doing this for a lot of years and expecting different results and wasn't getting that, right? So I thought, well, let's eat the way John does and see what happens. And when he started eating like this, how many pounds did you lose about 3 years ago when you started doing this?
I was at 230 down to 165, so what, 65 pounds?
He lost 65 pounds, right? And I mean, I think that's fairly impressive. All right, this pen, let me just give you the name of this. I got this at Michael's. This is called a Craft Smart paint pen.
Is it oil? Can you tell if it's oil?
Well, you can't really tell if it's oil, but it says it's waterproof. And I did discover that if I really dried it, I could glaze over it. So I think, in a sense, it is waterproof. That's the thing. You got to let it make sure it dries.
Now, I hope that's still good because the cap was not clicked on.
Oh, gosh.
And I couldn't find the second pen to bring to you, so...
Well, look, at what you do is you pump it up like this. Yeah, see, that's the...
Did it dry out?
Yeah. Well, I can still write with it, but it did dry out. Let me just shake it up. You have to. There's a little ball in there. And you have to shake that up for about an hour. The other one's in that. It's one of the containers. All right. So it's the right. Yeah, you're right. I already ruined this pen. Well, I've just got some sort of pen curse going here. Let me see if I can.
If you get one of those guys, you really got to press it hard to click it. You got to hear it click because it's really sealed.
But if you press it too hard, you smash the point, and then you don't have a fine point anymore. And I like the fine point ones. It's all this stuff, right? So let's see if I can't get this to go again. Pushing it. All right. So what I wrote in here is flowers. And so I start with the F and I start with the S.
No, you start with the F and end with the S.
That's right. Didn't I say that?
No, you said start and start.
Oh, well, I lied.
Well, no, you didn't lie. You were thinking you were going to start all over again.
Okay, so then I want the W in the middle.
Look at you spell. Perfect.
See?
That's
but
really nicely
that's
done.
the secret with sign painting. You start with the first letter, the last letter, and find the middle ones, and then squish the others together so they fit, right? And then you can do some little thing like that. Though I think a poem would be nice, all right? And then over here I wrote herbs. So start with the E, and then here's the S, and then R in the middle. There, see, herbs. Okay, and then, all I did here was just pretend like I was writing something. Looks like I'm writing Arabic, but sorry about that. I don't know how to write Arabic, but anyway, it looks kind of like that. But then I just did some stuff like that to kind of indicate that there might be a price tag or something. And, depending on if you made this bigger, then you'd actually have to just buckle up and write something, okay? I'm going to take, and this is kind of nice because you can use it so you can go over your picture, and if you need a little detail somewhere, need a fine little white line, you can just take the pen, barely touch something, and you can get that. A lot of you'll find that you actually draw better with a pen than you do with a brush, and sometimes a pen like this can be very helpful like that. But make sure the paint's dry before you get too carried away with it. All right. So
now, if that was an oil pen, you could say this is an acrylic with oil.
Yeah, if it was an oil paint pen, then you can say this is an acrylic oil paint. This is an acrylic and oil painting. It is not giving the percentages. That's just how they give you food. It's fair to me, right?
Absolutely.
I remember one time buying some Cool Whip, okay? And they listed all these vitamins. I mean, really, it was like fine print, like about 2 columns of vitamins, and then it said, this product contains none of the above. Honestly, I'm not making that up.
So they had all the vitamins, everything listed nice and big.
Yes.
And then very fine print. It's not there. What was the name of that pen again, and how much were they?
They were cheap. They were like $3.50 for 2 of them, weren't they?
Yeah, they were.
And this was called a Craft Smart Pen.
Mine's just, the package says paint pen, is what it says, a paint pen. 2 pizzas. Yeah.
Okay. So there's, that's our. I don't know. I think we did pretty good with this. Don't you guys think this was a fun little lesson?
A fun little.
Fun little lesson as opposed to an unfun lesson. I don't know. Are there any unfun lessons? We could start with, when did my eyes quit working? I'm painting with the back end of the pen. This is get this white off of here. All right, like that. And then I'm just sort of touching stuff up here. I'm just going to fix that stick there that I've got going there. Right.
John, did she paint the legs on the left easel?
I painted, there's a leg here. And then you've got a little line that goes across like that. See, like that. There's the back leg here. This one.
Does it have little feet in the front?
It has little feet on. Actually, where they go is right in front. They come straight down.
Oh, okay.
It's where they're supposed to go.
So that's chalk we're seeing there.
And that's just chalk. Let's
okay.
just
all right. That's fine.
let's just thin that out. Let's just erase the chalk.
We're not sure if there are oil pins or not. They don't say.
They don't say, but it did work. I mean, you see, I've done something, and then because it's dry, if it was a little thick, I could come in here with a little brush and skinny up the letters a little bit if I needed to. Look at that. I could just come like this and do that. That, if you need to just get a little tricky with it. And you could write this in with a brush too. I mean, that's all right. There's nothing wrong with, doing all this with a brush. Just make sure I've got my little lantern here going. And then here's our picture, and I think it came out really cute, you guys. Don't you think this was fun, our little flower market?
Our little flower market. That's what we call it.
Happy little flower market. Right?
Happy little flower market.
As opposed to a miserable flower market. There were some flowers here. There was something here. I think we're missing some flowers there. Let's just put it. We got all this paint out, right? This is what you don't do, is you don't put so much paint out. All right, let's just, we have some pink ones here. Let's just jazz those up. And then how about some cad red medium and some orange ones? That might be pretty. Let's put that right here. Let's just put some brighter ones right back here. Kind of behind here like that. There, and let's just take a little cad red. There, see? Nice. And then that's all there is to something like this. We got some flowers. You see, now you can see, if you look at what we've done with our flower things, we really have just taken the idea of this, and put it in a context of something, all right? And we've taken the idea of this with a few little things, and we've made a little nighttime, we've made a nighttime flower deal, which I think is very fun. And I still think I have this is a little bit big here. I'm going to make that a little smaller. There, okay, there. All right, made the lantern a little smaller. Got a little lantern in the back, got some light right here. This is sort of what we do. So this is our deal. And listen, we want to say that we're very glad that our whole broadcast went right,
I see no hiccups today.
And that's great. We're very grateful for that.
Thank you, YouTube.
Thank you, YouTube, for that. A color that I have that this is where you paint right out of the tube here. I left the cap off, so I got to fix it. Okay, here we go. Little Naples yellow is a very neat color. If you need a highlight for yellow, because you can just take a little bit right out of the tube like this and dot a little bit here. It's not quite white. If you need to have a little bit of a light where your yellow is, it's called Naples yellow. Okay. And then I still want a little bit of this green color. I want a few little green leaves in here. Like that. Little dark green leaves. All right, here we go. Just a couple of little green leaves in this for contrast. All right.
Marty's asking, what is the lantern hanging on? Looks like the wall to me.
It's hanging on a wall. This is a wall back behind here. This is a nice wall, and as opposed to an unnice wall.
We only do nice walls.
We only do nice walls.
Marty, if you want to have a not nice wall, that's entirely up to you.
But we have
nice walls.
We have nice walls, and if you want to just take a little bit of cad red medium and a little bit of burnt sienna, like that, and continue the wall back here if you need to. You can have it show a little bit back here in a couple places, like that. This is a wall back here, all right? Just so you're saying, if you're wondering, that's the wall. That's why I wanted that cad red. And this is our floor down in here where we have it nice and bright, and got a little bit of a light yellow here like this into the front of this like that. Here's our little bit bright yellow in the front where the light lantern's coming, and I still want some brighter yellow right here on the lantern. Okay? Maybe like that. There we go, some yellow. All right, so those are our flowers. This is our flower market. I think it came out really cute. I hope you did too. Hope you had fun doing this. Remember, as your paint dries, you may find that you had some white highlights and then you don't. So don't forget that you may have to come back you know, and lighten a few things like that, something like that, to get
Acrylics
your
dry
lights back.
darker.
I'm using that just the corner of that bigger brush, or darken something, depending on the case. Darken or lighten something. That's our picture, and I think, really, how fun was that? We've got, come on, you did this, now we're brave and trying this, right?
It's the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, the umbrella's kind of coming out a little bit here, and, you know, we've got some happy lights going down as opposed to miserable lights. I don't know if people
To go
get
with the
this stuff.
happy wall.
To
Happy
go with
lights,
the happy
wall.
wall. We have a happy light, happy wall.
To go with our happy flowers. Come on,
To go
people.
with our happy flowers, we got all that, and you know, we didn't take a lot of time to do it, and we kind of, and you.
In only an hour 40.
Well, you know what? This is just, you know, this is what, you know, I wanted to do this today.
Yes, you did.
Because in case you wanted to, really, in case you were inspired, let me put it that way. What if you were inspired to do something great for Valentine's Day? It's tomorrow, but you could stay up all night and do this. You
and
could
be
then-
happy about it.
And be happy about it and give this to somebody with a little poem here. I just think that would be so cute. And as you were painting, you could make the poem up, right?
Absolutely. You could be thinking the whole time.
Or you could run out to Hallmark, you know, at the dollar store and see what they said on a card and come back and copy it too. So you didn't feel that creative, right? But all right, that's our picture for tonight. I think that was fun. I appreciate you guys joining us. And likes and comments are really appreciated. If you want to know about our live classes when we're doing that and you want to be reminded of that, you have to subscribe and hit that cute little bell underneath so that you're told about it. You know, that's one of the tricks that you know, YouTube requires. And we've been having a little bit of an issue. Some comments have been with YouTube. If you don't see a comment,
It goes into a
it
spam.
goes into a spam folder, and it doesn't allow me to approve it. And we've written YouTube about it, and
They're trying
I
to
want
figure
to
it out.
apologize to Stephanie. I wrote her in person, but I just want to apologize to her because every one of her comments went into a spam thing, and that she only said lovely things, so it had nothing to do with what she wrote. And then I think somebody wrote me something in another language, and that went right into the spam. All right, so but it wasn't in my back office; it was right there under the deal, and I couldn't fix it. So anyway, I try to answer your comments, and anything you do now will just disappear. But if you come back and watch this again, if you can stand to watch this again, if you watch it again, and then make your comment, it'll be up there for posterity, and I will try to answer you. And then if you have pertinent questions you want answered, particularly if you want something answered by tomorrow night, contact us at gingercooklive.gallery. Use the Contact Us form, and we will answer. Try to put in as much information in your question as possible.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. This was fun.
And with that, Ginger, I
Well,
say good night.
Good night, John. Good night, Sammy. Good
And-
night, you guys. Thanks for watching. Night, Sammy.
Oh, looks like he's always crashing on us.
Uh-oh. Poor Sammy.
Going
He
out.
dropped all his geckos, too, didn't he?
I
Did
think
he-
so.
did he
He
lose
rolled
them?
over on them. I hope he
Oh.
didn't smush them.
I hope he didn't smush them. Okay. Good
Night,
night, John.
everyone.